today as you are in 5 years, except for the people you meet and the books you read. Charlie Tremendous Jones said that. He's a motivational speaker, and it's one of my favorite quotes that has stuck with me. Because think of the person you were 5 years ago, the books you've read, and the people you've met. And I had the opportunity this weekend to meet 2 amazing women, centenarians. They were each 115 years old. And I met them in the passages section of the Union Tribune. So a hobby of mine for many years, I love reading the Sunday paper, and one of my favorite sections is the obituaries. And it sounds grim and gruesome, and some people think it's weird, but I think it's beautiful. I think it's the last chance to really honor somebody's life and what they did in their dash. And some of you may have heard the story, The Dash, where it talks about the years in your life, from the year you were born and the year that you died, and what happened in that dash in between. And that's what the obituaries are for me. They give me a chance to get to know people that I would have never met, and people who are leaving this earth, and you get a chance to learn just a little bit about them. And it's their last mark on this planet. I started doing this after watching The Golden Girls, and Sophia was sitting at the table. Dorothy walks in, and she's like, "Ha! I won again. I always like reading the obituaries to see who I outlived." And so these 2 women were amazing. They were 115 years old. And if you let that sink in, they were born in 1899, meaning they've been alive through 3 centuries. They watched the entire 1900s happen, from cars and airplanes and buses and automobiles and wars. And the difference between these 2 women was one of them was living in New York, and it was almost like she couldn't wait to die. And when you think about it, at 115 years old, how long have you been waiting to die? And the other woman was living in Sardinia, Italy. And this is the part that got interesting, because the article highlighted how the people of Sardinia are known for their longevity and their abundance of centenarians, or people who have lived over 100 years. And so I did what any wise person did, and I GTS'd it. I Googled that shit. Because you don't want to be an asshole, right? And ask a question that could be answered by Google in 3 minutes. So I Googled Sardinia. I'm also half Italian. I've got family members that are from Sardinia who have lived a long life. I mean, my grandma, she's got dementia, and we're kind of like, wow, she's going to go another 7 years not knowing what she's doing. That's a really long time. That was a bitter joke. Sorry about that. And additionally, I'm thinking, okay, so what do I do to live a long life? What are these people doing that's different from everybody else? Well, there's 3 things that are the key to longevity. And it's going to be your diet, it's going to be your exercise, and it's going to be your sleep. Now, diet. And this is what's interesting, because I've read this in multiple books. Tony Robbins states it, Benjamin Franklin states it, and it's about what you eat, having a high-fat, low-protein, or high-fat, protein, and greens diet, where they just have a lot of high-fat items, dairy, milk, butter, all of their protein, lots of eggs. And you think about it, and the nutritionists that are talking about today talk about a high level of protein. I'm sure Jeff is familiar with this, with the diet that you're on right now. And when you think about eating a lot of eggs, well, that's something that can be reproduced over and over and over. So you're not taking in the actual meat of the animal. There's no death involved. And so it's a sustainable diet that these people are able to maintain for years living in this area of Sardinia. Second, exercise, getting moving, having your blood move through your veins and pushing out all of the bad things that your body's trying to flush out. You've got to exercise to stay healthy. And the third one, and this is one that I find most interesting, is sleep. Actually, sleeping less is the key to longevity. Having discipline is the key to longevity. Eating properly and only the foods that are going to nourish your body. Benjamin Franklin really admired the fact that he did not have fancy taste buds, that he enjoyed a plain sandwich. Albert Einstein only rested long enough to get enough energy that he could continue working. And that's what we are supposed to do. I believe what has happened in our world and in our society is that we've become addicted to the indulgence and feeling the entitlement and wanting more, when really scaling it down to the very basics, maybe just having 10 items in your diet, eliminating the french fries and the potatoes, just focusing on 10 key items, eggs, vegetables, high fats, healthy fats, grass-fed animals, things like that that are really going to help your body to thrive. And then combining that with the right exercise to get the body moving, adding to the right amount of sleep where you're not overindulging your body or overindulging your life. And when you have those things locked down to the very, very simple basics, then that allows for creativity and growth in so many other areas of your life. And that's when you get to become the person that you want to and really put life into the dash that's in between those 2 years.